Welcome back, guys. What we'll be doing in this video is how to style up our template or our layout. Right now it's really not looking well at all, and on previewing it on browser, this is just how it looks, and this is really not professional at all. So we need to add some finer touch to these layouts, and in doing that we'll be employing the use of CSS. I know we said we won't be using much of coding in this design, but everything we're going to be doing is on basics level, so just try and follow along. The first step I'll be doing right now is to create a CSS file. So I'll just create a new file here and call it layout.css. Right now this is a CSS file open up here, so this is the area we're going to be styling our work from. So I'll just take you back to the index page. So let's have a recap of what we've done so far. This is our container div which we'll be styling, and within the container div we have our header, our navigation, our content area, our sidebar, and the footer. So in doing that, we really need to write some code that will help us bring out the content just the way we want it. So right now, just before the closing head tag here under the title, I will include our CSS layout. So I'm just doing a drag and drop right now. You can manually code this to include it, but what I've just done is just to add the CSS. And if you look here right now, it's showing layout.css. It has been included to the page already, meaning that whatever we do to this CSS is going to be affecting each of these layouts we've already created. So, and that is nice for us. So what do we do now? First and foremost, we have to do a little CSS for the body, which is the background. So I'll just say body, give it a background, then take a light gray. That will be just it. Save that. If we go back to our browser and refresh this, hold on. So let's save a job here, refresh our browser. Here we go. Now we have a nice background for our layouts, but we still have our header div here, our menu, our content area, our sidebar, footer still hanging where they are. So first and foremost, what we need to do right now, we just need to go and start styling each of them. Remember, we have a container called, we have a div giving it an ID of a container. We also have for the header, the menu, and the rest. So let's target the container itself now. And one thing you have to know is that if in CSS, if you are targeting an ID, it starts with an hash sign or the pound sign, whatever way you want to call it. Then if you are targeting a class, it's starting with this dot, something like this. So in this case, we are not giving a class, but what we'll be doing is target each of the div individually. So we're using what, a hash sign. So I'll call it container. Open up a curly bracket, close it up, then drop up. So right now, let's just delete this. So now what we need to do is to give it a width first. So let's give it a width of about 80 pixel, not 80 pixel, 80% rather. What we'll be doing right now, I'll be showing you the reason I'll be using. Let's just use the fixed width first. Let's give it a width of 1000 pixel, then height, we'll give it an auto. What we've just done here is give our width, our container a width of 1000 pixel and an height of auto. What this means, that auto or 100%, as the case may be, what it means is that the container is going to collapse according to the content that is given to it. So we are not giving it a fixed height here. So what we'll be doing next is add little line of code to this board. Before we go further, let's just save this and go back to our work and refresh. What we have done is not showing anything yet. That's because the container has nothing really to show in terms of the physical outlook on the browser. So what we need to do right now, we need to give it a border, give it 4 pixel solid, then let's give it a background, let's just say give it a color of white. Let's see how that looks. Here we go. It's looking a bit good. So now is enough. And if you look back right now, this is 1000 pixel and it's just resting on the left corner. Why there is so much space here? It's unprofessional to do that. This remaining space here needs to be shared by both margins, which is the left and the right. So we can either use 2 lines of code to do this, or we can just use one. Let me show you how to use the 2 lines of code. Let's give it a margin left of auto, then a margin right. Sorry about that. Margin right auto. Excuse me. Now if we refresh, there you go. What that has done is that it has taken 50% of the space that was left on the right hand side, shared it 50-50 equally between the right margin and the left margin. So right now we have our container div centering in the middle. So what we need to do next is add a little margin to the top. So give it a margin top of 14 pixel. What that is going to do is going to push it down a bit from this browser margin here. So if we refresh, there we go. The margin has created itself here because we added the line of code to it. So now we need to start targeting each of the divs itself. Excuse me. So now the first one is the header. So let's give it a width of 100%, 100%, then height 250 pixel, that should just do it. Then background, let's give it a dark blue or light blue here. Let's close this up. If we save this and we refresh, there you go. our div has come up, which is the header div, has successfully loaded itself up. So what do we need to do right now? The next thing is to go back and start styling each of the divs separately, and we notice our header div is a bit wide, so let's just give it 200 instead of 250. Then let's give it a color of white. That will be the text color. Save that. Let's target our next div, which is navigation. We'll give it a width. Let's just copy this, make use of it, then edit it as the case may be. So for the width, 100%, height, let's just give it 55 pixel. Then for the background, let's give it a nice, that should go. Color white, good enough. So let's take one more. After the navigation, we have the content area, content_area. Make sure you always take note of the names you give to the IDs. So what we need to do right here is to also give it, let's copy this. For the width, we take 65% of the width. Then for the height, let's just take 100 let's take 300 pixel. Then for the background, let's use something else. Let's use this color. Good, that should be just good for us. Let's close this up, save, preview to see what we're doing. There we go. Here, this is our header, our navigation, our content area. Now we have our sidebar and the footer left. So what we need to do right now is to add the sidebar. Now let's copy this, paste. Then for the width, let's just work the mathematics out here. This is 65%, so we have extra 35% left to make this 100. So we give this 35%, good. Then for the height, let's leave the height same. For the background, we need to change it. Let's give it this light green here. The color, we should be just okay with that. Let's close this up. Then let's go back, save and preview. There we go. This is what we want, but right now there's something wrong here. This is our content area, this is our header and navigation, our content area, and this is our sidebar. This sidebar is meant to stay at this point here, which is the extra space, while the footer is meant to float below it. But right now it's right here. So let's just go and add a line of code to this sidebar to make it move to the right side, and this one remains left. So for the content area, we add one more line of code called the float this one left, Right, for this one we float it right. There you go. Now if we refresh, good, this one has successfully taken the position which we want it to take. Now let's just go and work on the footer and get it done with. So we take our footer, so we just copy this. Now for the footer width we give it 100%. Then for the height we give it 50 pixel. Then the background, let's just give it black. That should do. Save that, close the code, and let's refresh. There you go. Now you have a little problem. Footer goes here, but we can't really see the footer. The reason we can't see the footer right now is because of this float element here. These two are covering footer. Footer has come behind them. So the only way to make footer relax here underneath is to clear these float elements, this of them, the two of them here, this float left and the float right. So let's just go and do that. To this footer we have to use a line of code called declare. So clear both for left and right. We save that, refresh our page here. There we go. Now footer has come to place. So this is basically the layout we'll be using for our website. Like I said, this is the header region, this is the navigation, this is the content area, this is the sidebar, and this is what? The footer area. So in our next video we'll start working on header, menu, content area, sidebar, and the footer itself. We'll start adding content to them. So see you in the next video.